Well, the Brewers are on a bit of a skid, and we're still not much closer to football. At least those are the reports coming in. Hello, and welcome again to the Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda of Sports. I'm Nate Burrow, here to offer up my take on the world of sports. In the last week or so, the Milwaukee Brewers, as I mentioned, skidding a little bit, 4-6 in their last 10, losers of 2 straight. Interleague play is getting the best of them, and because of that, they're a half game back of St. Louis, so still not. They're still holding their head above water as we kind of hit the big stretch here. Still plenty of tough baseball games ahead. They've got 2 more with Tampa Bay as we tape the show Tuesday morning, and then a weekend home-and-home series actually with Minnesota, and then a trip to Yankee Stadium looming as well. So it doesn't get any easier for the Brewers. Minnesota is playing well right now, slowly climbing the standings. They're actually 9-1 in their last 10 games, so a 7-game winning streak. They're playing phenomenal right now. Well isn't even the word. And the Brewers are inconsistent, and that's being nice. They've been very consistent the last couple of games, consistently bad. Pitching, hitting, they're not getting the run production they expect, and at the same time, the pitching has been miserable. And, certainly there's a carryover effect between the two of those. And if you can get the Brewers to kind of get one or the other, I think it'll kind of snowball and get things back on track. And, certainly no reason to panic at this point. It's just a matter of breaking things down and as the coaching staff needs to do, and figure out what adjustments need to be made, and kind of see what shake-up or whatnot is going to make the right button click. We'll see how it goes. Maybe this homestand is what they need. Got the 3 games or 2 more left with Tampa Bay. Yes, last night wasn't so good, but that may have been a little bit of a layover from the Red Sox series. Now you get Greinke on the mound tonight, and hopefully get things back on track and build from there. St. Louis took a big hit this week. Albert Pujols expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a broken wrist. And those type of injuries could mean more. Could be a little bit less, but, time remains to be seen. Brewers 2 games up on Cincinnati at this point, so if the Reds continue to slide, it's kind of the Brewers' division to grab for a few games as we move through the month of June and into July. That said, the Cardinals certainly have a much easier interleague schedule, so that's going to kind of stack in the favor of St. Louis. They get to play they get to play Baltimore, they get to play Toronto, 2 teams in the division that the Brewers do not get to play. Next year that role will flip, but it kind of hurts right now, the unbalanced schedule that the Major League Baseball is kind of dealing with right now, and that's partly why there's talk of realignment and switching things around in a number of different ways. But hard to say what that all is going to happen and how that's going to all play out. My take on how to fix the Brewers, you just really got to figure out how to get a good offense, a good pitching outing, and then hopefully that carries over into a good offensive night, and you get the 2 things working together. And once a couple of these guys get out of these small slumps that they're in, if you can get them all hitting at the same time, this offense is going to score a ton of runs, and hopefully things kind of turn things around here. And the lineup is there. It's just going to be a matter of time. They're not going to stay in this skid for too much longer, I don't think. Mentioned the NFL lockout continues. The owners are meeting today, hopefully as we speak. Not sure exactly what time the meetings were supposed to begin. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a vote this week from the owners on the collective bargaining agreement, or at least not today from what I've heard. But the owner meetings could extend all the way through the week. I think they're scheduled for just 2 days, but they can certainly go longer. It sounds like right now the really big sticking point is 5 or 6 owners that are just not happy with how the deal is going down and what's going on with everything. So, it's tough. It's hard to believe that these people are willing to sacrifice what is the best sport in the world right now, and just for money in their pocket. It's unfortunate for fans from where we sit and what we've got to deal with and watch with, and but it's a business and there's not much you can do about it. And this is just kind of the reminder that it's not just a game. There's a business involved as well. Maybe not so much for many of the players on the field. Certainly there's their share of them that believe it's a business, but certainly the people behind them, it's definitely a business, whether it's the owners, the general managers, or the agents. There is a business aspect to this, and we're dealing right now with it with the NFL, but things sound even worse on the NBA side of things. It almost seems like a foregone conclusion. Their season will start late. It's just a matter of how late and if at all this year. It's kind of real bleak on their end of things. Moving on to local sports. Grays got a big win on Thursday night over Cambridge in night league play, evening their record at 3-3, still deep in the playoff hunt as they hit the midway point in the night league schedule. Sunday league schedule, they're still continuing their struggles. They're just going to probably end up playing that out unless they get red hot here in the second half of the season. Legion baseball team, Lake Mills, started off their league season with 2 wins, 1 loss, a close loss to Marshall, but a couple of wins, so they're on track there to have a pretty good start to their season. They've got a game at Watertown against Prepside tonight at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm not sure on the time off the top of my head. That's over in Watertown, but a couple of home games this weekend with the festival in town. Legion plays a home game Friday night, and then against Johnson Creek, and then on Saturday afternoon, they've got a 1 o'clock start against Columbus. So a team that they've played 3 very good games against in high school baseball. So if that's any carryover, Saturday should be a fun one to watch if you're interested in that. That's about all to talk about this week. Not too many controversies going on aside from the NFL lockout and the Brewers' recent skid. Matt Kenseth, second place finish at Michigan, continues his decent season, well within the range of making the chase, which we've talked about is kind of the goal at this point, and kind of keep it going that way. But other than that, not too much going on. Wimbledon kicking off for you tennis fans. U.S. Open was an absolute blowout this weekend. McIlroy is the man to beat right now, and it won't be too much longer before he'll be number 1 in the world. Just needs to play a few more tournaments, essentially. But everybody's kind of been worried about Tiger Woods and what's going on there, and we may have the next Tiger Woods right around the corner. He looks that good. Mentally, he's collapsed a few times, which has people second guessing him. But now that he's got the taste of winning a major, could he kind of start to run the table? He certainly looks like the most dominant golfer on the course at this time. So we'll see how his majors careers pans out in the next couple of weeks here as they inch closer towards the British Open, which would be a much more home course for him as a European. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We have one more left before I move out of the area. We're going to do one more show next week, and that will be my final episode of CWS Sports. After, I don't even know, I've been at the leader 8.5 years, but we did have a short stint of CWS before that, and so it's been quite some time, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a way to get it back on the air, but probably not from this studio, and probably not for at least a little while until I kind of get things settled up in New York after we move out there. So, but anyway, we'll join you again next week, and email's still open if you'd like to share some thoughts for next week's show, but cwssports@hotmail.com is that email, and would love to hear from you. We've got one more show, as I said, so we'll see you again next week for another edition of the Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda of Sports.